Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is 24th of August. It is Saturday. It is Bhadra Masa or Rishikesha Masa, Krishna Paksham and Sasthe Tithi. So there are no Vaishnava events in the calendar today. So we shall quickly move into the Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma is speaking to Narada Muni, explaining different Leela incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So far, he has covered. The first is Varaha Bhagavan, so he lifted that, and also at the same time, he killed the Daitya Hiranyaksha. And later on, he has appeared as a Suyajna, as a son of Ruchi and Akuti. And also he has removed the distress of all the three planetary systems. That is the second incarnation. And third, so he has appeared as the Kapila Bhagavan to Devahuti and Kadama Prajapati. He has explained the Sankhya philosophy to Devahuti. And in the fourth incarnation, he has appeared as the Dattatreya. And also he has showed his mercy to the King Yadus and also Haihayas. And also in the fifth incarnation, he has appeared as the Kumaras, four Kumaras, and at that time they also explained the uh, Atma Jnana to the great sages. And then later on in the sixth, so the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared as the Nara and the Narayana Rishi with four-headed forms. Both the even Nara also has got four hands, and both have got four hands. So at that time they have performed uh, severe austerities and penances. So, and then explaining that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he would not have got any material desires at all. Later on, in the Brahma was explaining about the Dhruv Maharaj pastime. So at that time, Lord also appeared to Dhruv Maharaj as the um, Pushnigarbha. So Brahma did not say that he is Pushnigarbha, but Rupa Goswami has mentioned in the Laghu Bhagavatamritam, in the chapter 3, verses 53 to 57. Prabhupada explained in the purport. So the Lord appeared to Dhruv Maharaj. His name was the name of that. It is Pushnigarbha, the incarnation of Pushnigarbha. So that is the Viddaha Sapatni Mudita Patribihi Antirajno Balopi San Upagataha Tapasevanani Tasmada Druvagatim Grunate Prasanno Divyaha Stuvanti Monoyo Yed Upari Adastad. So at that time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has he was pleased with the Dhruva Maharaj austerities and penances, and he has given the Dhruva planet to Dhruva, so which is glorified by all the sages, great sages. So in that sequence, now Lord Brahma is speaking about the Prithu Maharaj incarnation. So Prithu Maharaj has appeared as the son of Vena, and who was burnt to ashes by the great sages by their thunderbolt words when the Vena he did not follow the instructions of the Brahmanas and following everything against the scriptural injunctions. So and then he was burnt to ashes by the great sages. At that time, the Lord has on the prayers of these great sages, the same great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared as the Prithu Maharaj. And also, once he appeared, he has delivered his father Vena from the path of hell. And also, he has extracted so many helps from the earth, so many produces, so many grains, different kinds of grains, and not only grains, not only for human beings, many other living entities they have extracted. They have took that opportunity when mother took the form of a cow. All other living entities, even bhutas, pishachas, rakshasas, even the snakes, everything, all the living entities, they have taken whatever they needed from the mother earth when she was in the like a cow. So likewise, today is Brahma is saying to Narada Muni about the incarnation of the Prithu Maharaj. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 7, verse number 9. यद्वेनम् उत्पदगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्र निःस्पृष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्रात्वार्धितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसुधा सकलानि येन यद्वेनम् उत्पतगतं. So the king Vena, yadvenum utpatagatam, and he fall down from the uh, going away, going astray from the righteous path, falling down from the religious path. Yadvenum utpatagatam. At that time, Dvijavakya Vajra, Dvijavakya Vajra. So Dvija is the Brahmanas, Dvijavakya Vajra, by the thunderbolt words, Dvijavakya Vajra. Nisplushta Bhagam, Nisplushta Bhagam, and he was burnt by ashes. He was burnt to ashes along with his Bhagam, all his great deeds and opulence, everything were burnt to ashes. That is Nisplushta Bhagam. If a person has done some pious activities, knowingly or unknowingly, and all these things also will be burnt to the ashes by the curse of a great soul. If he making one offense to the great soul. Nisprusta Bhagam Niraye Patantam, and then he fall into the hell. Niraye Patantam. Tratvardito Jagati Putra Padam Chalebhe. Tratva, so by delivering Adhito, so both being prayed for. So here Brahmanas at the same time, the sages and Brahmanas, they also pray to the Supreme Lord. And Tratva and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Tratva Advito Jagati Putra Padam Chalebhe. He has appeared as the son of Vena and he has delivered. Tratva, he has delivered his father. Jagati Putra Padam Chalebhe. When his father was fall down into the hell, he has delivered him. Tratva Advito Jagati Putra Padam Chalebhe. And then what else he did? Dugdha Vasuni Vasudha Sakalani Yena. Dugdha Vasuni. And he has extracted from the earth Dugdha, exploited the Vasuni, the produce. Vasudha Sakalani Yena. And the Vasudha is the earth. And Sakalani Yena, all kinds of the produce. Yena by whom? So this is Prithu Maharaj extracted all kinds of produce from the Mother Earth. So Dugdha Vasuni Vasudha Sakalani Yena. So this is the Mother Earth when she is in the form of a cow. She gives so much of things. So the milk is producing so many things. The humans to nourish their body. And from childhood to the old age, everyone uses the milk. And from the milk, so many preparations come. This is also in our experience. So, but Mother Earth, so she is the source of everything. Okay, that one we would see later on. So, yadbhena utpatagatam vijavakya vajra nisplusta paurusha bhagam niraye patantam tratvardhito jagati putra padam chalebhe dugdha vasuni vasuda sakalaniyena. So, translation for this was Maharaja Vena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him by the thunderbolt curse. By this King Vena was burnt with his good deeds and opulence and was en route to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son, by the name of Prutu, delivered the condemned King Vena from hell, and exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops as produce. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request any devotees, unallocated devotees to read the purport, please? Okay, I shall read it then. So, according to the system of Varnashrama Dharma, the pious and learned Brahmanas were the natural guardians of society. The Brahmanas, by their learned labor of love, would instruct the administrator kings how to rule the country in complete righteousness, and thus the process would go on as a perfect welfare state. The kings or the Kshatriya administrators would always consult the council of learned Brahmanas. They were never autocratic monarchs. The scriptures like Manusamhita and other authorized books of the great sages were guiding principles for ruling the subjects. And there was no need for less intelligent persons to manufacture a code of law in the name of democracy. The less intelligent mass of people have very little knowledge of their own welfare, as child has very little knowledge of its future well-being. The experienced father guides the innocent child towards the path of progress, and the childlike mass of people need similar guidance. The standard welfare codes are already there in the Manusamhita and other Vedic literatures. The learned Brahmanas would advise the king in terms of those standards book of knowledge and with reference to particular situation of time and place. Such Brahmanas were not paid servants of the king, and therefore they had the strength to dictate to the king on the principles of scriptures. This system continued even up to the time of Maharaja Chandragupta, and the Brahmana Chanakya was his unpaid prime minister. Maharaja Vena did not adhere to his principle of ruling, and he disobeyed the learned Brahmanas. The broad-minded Brahmanas were not self-interested, but looked to the interest of complete welfare for all the subjects. They wanted to chastise King Vena for his misconduct, and so prayed to the Almighty Lord as well as cursed the king. Long life, obedience, good reputation, righteousness, prospects of being promoted to higher planets, and blessings of great personalities are all vanquished simply by disobedience to a great soul. One should strictly try to follow in the footsteps of great souls. Maharaja Vena became a king undoubtedly due to his past deeds of righteousness, but because he willfully neglected the great souls. He was punished by the loss of all the above mentioned acquisitions. In the Vamana Purana, the history of Maharaja Vena and his degradation are fully described. When Maharaja Prithu heard about the hellish condition of his father, Vena, who was suffering from leprosy in the family of a Mlecha, he at once brought the former king to Kurukshetra for his purification and relieved him of all sufferings. Maharaja Prithu, the incarnation of God, descended by the prayer of the Brahmanas to rectify the disorders on earth. He produced all kinds of crops, but At the same time, he performed the duty of a son who delivers his father from hellish conditions. The word Putra means one who delivers from hell, called Put. So that is a worthy son. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this purport, Prabhupada is explaining about, so one has to follow the scriptural injunctions and the instructions of the Brahmanas, not by the ordinary democratic rulers. So the rulers have to be, so this politics has to be changed. Politics have to be changed. So we need to have kind of who are the pious and righteous rulers, administrators of a country or a state. So they must be in the righteous, so following the scriptural injunctions under the guidance of the learned Brahmanas. This is what is missing in the current politics. Everyone, even the rowdies and gundas, they enter into the politics and then they rob everything. They torture the people by the so much of taxes and everything else. That is condemned. So Brahmanas are to be unpaid. So whereas Brahmanas, they do not depend on the king. So this is also Swayambhumanu, he says, Brahma asujad swamukhato yushmanatma paripsaya chindomaya tapovidya yoga yuktan alampatan tatra anaya asuritasman doho sahsrapat. So at the time, Brahmanas are there only to expand the knowledge. So Lord Brahma, he created the Brahmanas to expand himself. Chandomaiha Tapovidya Yoga Yuktan Alampatan. Chandomaiha. All the Vedic literatures and all the paraphernalia regarding this Vedic literature. Chandomaiha Tapovidya, the Tapasya. Yoga Yuktan, how to engage all these things. Yoga Yuktan Alampatan. And then, in order to protect the Brahmanas, Tatranaya Asrujat Tasman Dhoho Sahasrapat. So that is, these Kshatriyas are created to protect the Brahmanas. That is the purpose. Tatranaya Asrujat Tasman Dhoho Sahasrapat, from the shoulders of the um, so that's why they are Kshatriyas are called they are situated in the shoulders of the Virat Rupa, and Brahmanas are situated in the face of the Virat Rupa. Okay, so here Prabhupada is mentioning the kings or Kshatriya administrators would always consult the council of learned Brahmanas. This is declared. They were never autocratic monarchs. And here, Manu Samhita, even Swayambhu Manu, he was a king because he was a saintly king. On the request of the sages, he has given so many instructions. That is Manu Samhita. It has got all the scriptural injunctions how one has to live in your Varnashrama Dharma. Everything should lead to the only Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. Atahum Vidvijisreshta Varnashrami Vibhagashaha Swanistasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. All these Varnas and ashramas are divided only for the pleasure of Vishnu only. Everything is mentioned in a structured way to bring the conditioned souls gradually unto that consciousness, Krishna consciousness. So this is Prabhupada is explaining here, and Brahmanas like compared the experienced father guides the innocent child towards the path of progress. So likewise, the Brahmanas they guide the society, the learned Brahmanas. Okay, that is one point. So Prabhupada is explaining. So this system continued up to the Maharaja Chandragupta, up to the time of Maharaja Chandragupta. Chanakya Pandita, we know he has given so many moral instructions to us. And then later on, Prabhupada is explaining about the Maharaja when he did not follow, and then what happened to him? He fell into the as mentioned as a he became affected with the leprosy and fell into the Mlecha family and fall suffering from so much of hellish conditions. And he did not follow. That is the thing. And then further, Prabhupada is explaining about the so just long life, obedience, good reputation, righteousness, prospects of being promoted to the higher planets, or and blessings of great personalities. These are all blessings. These are all vanquished simply by disobedience to a great soul. That's why one has to be. This is one of the Vaishnava culture. He is always humble and obedient to all the living entities. That is Manasetani Bhotani Pranamed Bahumanayan. All he respect even not only the humans, everyone. Pranamed Bahumanayan Yeshwaro Jivakalaya Bhagavan uh, Bhagavan Pravishto Bhagavan. So thinking that Lord is in the all the heart of all the living entities. Bhagavan Pravishto iti. So in the heart of all the living entity. That's why he is Pranamed Bahumanayan with so much of respect. So, and one should strictly try to follow the footsteps of great souls. And here, Maharaja Vena, he undoubtedly, due to his past deeds of righteousness, see, whatever he has got pious activities previously, that's why he became a king. But he willfully neglected the great souls. This is the offense. It's a greater offense. Unknowingly happens, that is offense, but willfully neglected. That's why he fall down to the hellish condition. And so here, and his father, Anga Maharaj, he was the devotee of the Lord. And when in that dynasty, in the devotees dynasty, so the Lord, to protect his devotees, so he took uh, the birth as the son of Vena and he delivered him. And also on the prayers of the sages and Brahmanas. That is the appearance of the Lord Prutu as a Prutu and Achi. So he appeared as the Prutu and Achi as a along with his consent. And also when Prutu Maharaj departed, so both Prutu Maharaj and Achi, they both left at the same time. And later on, Prabhupada is saying that, see here, Maharaj Prutu and the incarnation of the God descended by the prayer of the Brahmanas to rectify the disorders on earth. So when the devotees prays to the Lord, then Lord comes very easily to the planet. So we have to pray. The Lord will come and then rectify the current society. It is the completely depending on the devotees of the Lord. So that is and also he produced all kinds of crops, but at the same time he performed the duty of a son who delivers his father from the hellish conditions. This is the duty of the son. The word putra means one who delivers from the hell, called put. So there is a hellish name. uh, Hell name is called Pu. A son who is going to deliver him from that condition is called Putra. Okay, so that is from the Prabhupada's purport. And here Brahma is saying to Narada Muni about the Prithu Maharaj. Yadvena utpatagatam dvijavakya vajra nisplusta paurusha bhagam nireye patantam tratvarjito jagati putra padam cha lebhe dugdha vasuni vasuda sakalani yena. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we shall quickly move into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is a letter to Pradyumna. Okay, so I think I shall read this letter and then I'll request one more devotee to read next letter. So letter to Pradyumna, April 1st, 1970, Los Angeles. My dear Pradyumna, please accept my blessings. I have just received one check of contribution from Brahmananda, and I understand that you have contributed $500. So I thank you very much for this. May Krishna bless both of you. and your good wife. Hope this meets you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so this is Prabhupada is acknowledging and also giving his blessings to Pradyumna. And another letter to Gurudasa, April 1st, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request any other devotee to take it and read this letter, please? It's a small letter only.
I will read, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you for this.
My dear Gurudasa, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated 24th March 1970. I understand that the Lord Chaitanya's birthday procession was very, very nice. And similarly, in San Francisco, also they took out a procession in the street. And it understood that 4,000 to 5,000 people participated. So this is another introduction to our Krishna consciousness movement. Regarding the court case, such kind of case will come and go. We have to go on with our transcendental business. It is very encouraging. The Sankirtan part is going twice daily. That should be continued. Other things will be adjusted by the grace of Krishna. I talked with Gargamuni, who can immediately begin the incense business. It is not very difficult, and you can do very nice business in London. From Holland, you can get very good scent. Holland is great center for manufacturing essential oils. One thing, all the center print in Acharya's name on the letterhead of their stationery. You should also do that, and every center contributes $15 monthly towards my maintenance fund. So you can also try to contribute this monthly. Beside that, in your book list, I don't find the name of Srimad Bhagavatam. You should have all the books in stock always. If you have not got any Srimad Bhagavatam in stock, just order them from Brahmananda. Also, I have not heard anything from Shiradakshai in some time. So let me know how he is doing. Hope this meets you in good health. Your ever wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any takeaway points, Prabhuji, in this letter?
Takeaway points, Prabhu, yeah, Prabhupada is interested in all the activities that been done in ISKCON, basically like bringing the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement to each and every corners of the world and try to get more people preaching. So this all makes Prabhupada very, very happy. So when he heard something about that, and that makes Prabhupada very happy, and he just encouraging his devotees to do it more and more so that a lot of people can be benefited from this. And second thing, Prabhupada is always wanted to Sankirtan, Nam Sankirtan. So when you see that devotees are doing it twice a day, and he is very, very happy to hear that, and he is really encouraging. And he also saying that, no, there are a lot of always some people who don't like our activities. They always go to court and everything, but don't need to worry about that. And we are under the shelter of Krishna, and he will look after that. We do the service to please our Lord and Guru and Gauranga, and then whatever material things comes, Krishna will look after. So Prabhupada is encouraging his devotees not to be entangled in all this court case and everything. And you hear Prabhupada is very interesting that he not only know about transcendental things, he also know about where things are very good, where you can able to buy things and everything. Here, like an example, Prabhupada is saying, like in Netherlands, they get very good essential oils, high quality essential oil, which can be used for our incense business. And he encouraged the devotees to do a non-karmic business, like making incense sticks, painting, art gallery. Those are all like you don't really accumulate much karma. So those kind of jobs, Prabhupada is saying, business Prabhupada is really encouraging his devotees to do. That is something very good to hear from the Prabhupada's letter, Prabhu. And Prabhupada also mentioning that he wants his devotees to contribute for himself, for his, I think basically it's more for his traveling and for his when he want to have some fun, so that any cases something is needed, then he can able to use his funds for booking flights or supporting devotees and care and everything. This is something Prabhupada is emphasizing in this letter, that that all the devotees should contribute like $15 per month for his own, for my maintenance fund. So in all the ways, Prabhupada is not only focusing only on Krishna consciousness, but also he is trying to help devotees to understand how to do business, where to do business, what kind of business we should do, and everything. So Prabhupada is teaching his devotees almost everything in the terms of Krishna consciousness, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of habits, in terms of business, everything. So this is something I understand from this letter, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, very nicely summarized. Any other points, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, so that's from the Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's letter. So whenever we do all the things in dovetailing with Krishna, everything will get adjusted by the grace of Krishna. So that needs to be done. Okay, and Prabhupada, he's called Acharya, lead by example in all respects. Okay, that is one more point. Just I wanted to reflect. That is from Srila Prabhupada's letter and dear devotees. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we continue Chaitanya Charitamrita at 7 p.m. That is introduction. So the halfway through we progress further. That is our upcoming event, and that is from me. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything like a temple updates or any festival things, or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Okay, so if there are no updates, then we shall move to the next part of our program about the Vaikunta, description of Vaikunta, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the special topics. Okay, so in the last Saturday, we have been discussing about the in the Vaikunta, the Lord has appeared. The Lord has walked on his foot to the place where Jaya and Vijaya were speaking to four Kumaras. So this is where we have stopped in the last session. We covered that is 38th verse of the 15th chapter of third canto. Third canto, 15th chapter, verse number 38. So this is the beautiful pastime of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the Vaikunta. I'm going to share some pictures. This is the part. Where is that? The Lord, he walked to the. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Jaya and Vijaya, so they were cursed by the four Kumaras, and that at that time. एवं तदैव भगवान् अरविन्दनाभः स्वानं विभुज्य सद् अतिक्रमम् आर्यहृद्यः तस्मिन् ययौ परमहंस महामुनीनाम् अन्वेषणीयचरणौ चलयन् सह श्रीः. So after hearing from his close associates about what is happening at the door, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead walked on his foot along with Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune. That lotus feet, which is worshipped by all the great sages, Paramahamsas. Tasmin yev Paramahamsa Mahamuninam Anveshaniya Charanam. On that lotus feet, Chalayan Sahasrehi, he walked along with goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, as we see in this picture. So, and whenever he was coming, Tam Twagatam Pratihota Upaikum Swapumbabihi, Te Chakshata Akshabashim Swasamadhi Bhagyam. हंसश्रियोः व्यजनयोः शिववायुलोलत् शुभ्र आतपत्र शशिकेसरसीकराम्भुम्. So here this Atapatra, Shubhra Atapatra, Subhra, this is the white umbrella. And the beauty of this white umbrella is also glorified. It has got the pearl strings which are just like the snowdrops. Sesikesara, snowdrops falling from the moon. Sesikesara Sikarambum. And when the other associates like Nanda, Sunanda, Prabala, Arahana, when they are doing this chamara, fanning the chamara to Lord, that Sivavayu Lolat, the gentle air is coming, which is all favorable air. And these chamaras are just like the swans. That is the glory. And also here, umbrella, if we see Shubhra Atapatra, uh, umbrellas, this is, I'll show you this. It is white umbrella. So when we see in the, for example, in the Sri Rangam or in the Tirumala temples, they're white and very big. So such kind of umbrellas we see here, white umbrellas. I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway. So this is very white and bigger, and then it has got a pearl strings. We could see in the temples mostly. That is the glorification of that one. The Shubhrata Patra Sasikesara Sikarambhum. And by looking at that, four Kumaras, that is te achakshata akshay vishayam swasamadhi bhagyam. It is possible only for the great sages, whenever they meditate, they experience the partial uh, opulences of the Lord. Tam tvagatam pratihuta aupekum sukumbhihi te akshata akshavishayam swasamadhi bhagyam. Now, the Kumaras, they are directly seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his entourage. So now, later on, Brahma is saying to all the demigods. So here Brahma is speaking to, where is Brahma? He's speaking to the demigods. Brahma is speaking and all other demigods, they are hearing from the Brahma. So Brahma is saying that, glorifying about this one. What is the situation of the Vaikunta, who are desiring for it, how beautiful it is, and how the Lord is here, and how the goddess of fortune they exist. So we are in the 39th verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 15th chapter, 39th verse. कृष्ण प्रसाद सुमुखं स्पृहणीय धाम स्नेहावलोककलया हृदि संस्पृशन्तं श्यामे पृतावरसि शोभितया श्रिया स्वः चूडामणिं सुभगयन्तं युवात्मधिष्ण्यम् कृष्ण प्रसाद सुमुखं स्पृहणीय धाम Krishna Prasada. So blessing everyone, Krishna Prasad Sumukam, auspicious face, and Spruhaniya Dhamma, desirable to everyone, and Dhamma, it is the shelter. See, Krishna Prasad Sumukam, Spruhaniya Dhamma, that Vaikunta Loka, is desired by everyone. This is Spruhaniya Dhamma. And then, Snehava Kalaya Hrudi Samsprushantam. Snehava Kalaya. Sneha with so much of affection. Avaloka looking upon that. Kalaya by expansion. Hrudi within the heart. Snehava Kalaya Hrudi Samsprushantam. It is touching the heart. As soon as one sees that one, if we go to a different places for a nice picnic or some beautiful hot spots, beautiful spot, at the time we feel that it is very direct to the heart, touching the heart. So here, Vaikunta Loka, as soon as Kumaras are seeing, it is touching their hearts. And also the Lord is present with along with his entourage and all his opulences and goddess of fortune. So that is Krishna Prasad Sumukam Spruhaniya Dhama Snehava Kalaya Prisam Sprushantam. And why it is so much of attracted towards the Kumaras? Because श्यामे पृथावरसि शोभितया श्रिया स्वः श्यामे पृथावरसि शोभितया श्रिया स्वः. Unto the Lord with the blackish color, Pruta on his broad, Prutavarasi in his broad chest, there is unto the Lord with blackish color. Syame Prutavarasi Sobhitaya, and Sobhitaya being decorated, what? It is Shriya, goddess of fortune. On his chest, there is a Srivatsa, goddess of the symbol of goddess of fortune. Sobhitaya Sriya Swaha. Swaha, Swaha is the heavenly planets. Chodamanim Subhagayantam. Chodamanim is the summit. Chodamanim Subhagayantam, spread good fortune. Subhagayantam Iva Atmadishnyam, just like a Atmadishnyam, the supreme personality of Godhead, Dishnyam, abode. So this is the very beautiful thing explaining here by Brahma to demigods about the Vaikunta planet. Krishna Prasada Smukam Spurhaniya Dhama Snehavaloka Kalaya Priti Samspushantam Syame Prutavarasi Sobhitaya Sriyasvaha Chodamanim Subhayantam Yavatma Dishnyam. So translation for this verse, I request dear devotees, anyone would like to read this translation and the purport? Okay, I shall read it then. So, translation: the Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure. His auspicious presence is meant for everyone's benediction, and his affectionate smiling and glancing touch the core of the heart. The Lord's beautiful bodily color is blackish, and his broad chest is the resting place of the goddess of fortune, who glorifies the entire spiritual world, the summit of all heavenly planets. Thus, it appeared that the Lord was personally spreading the beauty and good fortune of the spiritual world. Say that is Krishna Prasada Smukam Spruhaniya Dhama Sneha Valoka Kalaya Hridi Samspushantam Syame Prutavarsi Sobhitaya Sriyasvaha Chodamanim Subhagayantam Ivatmadishyam. So this is the Lord was personally spreading the beauty and good fortune of the spiritual world. So this is the beauty of the spiritual planet Vaikunta. So purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the Lord came, he was pleased with everyone, and therefore it is stated here, Krishna Prasada Sumukam. The Lord knew that even the offensive doormen were his pure devotees, although by chance they committed an offense at the feet of other devotees. To commit an offense against a devotee is very dangerous in devotional service. Lord Chaitanya therefore said that an offense to a devotee is just like a mad elephant run loose. When a mad elephant enters a garden, it tramples all the plants. Similarly, an offense onto the feet of a pure devotee murders one's position in devotional service. On the part of the Lord, there was no offended mood because he does not accept any offense created by his sincere devotee. On the part of the Lord, there was no offended mood because he does not accept any offense created by his sincere devotee. But a devotee should be very cautious of committing offenses at the feet of another devotee. The Lord, being equal to all and being especially inclined to his devotee, looked as mercifully at the offenders as at the offended. This attitude of the Lord was due to his unlimited quantity of transcendental qualities. This is Samah Sarveshu Bhuteshu. So the Lord is equal to everyone. Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He doesn't have he is an enemy or he is not an enemy. He is a devotee, he is not a devotee. It is Lord has not got that kind of discrimination. That is his transcendental, his unlimited quantity of transcendental qualities. So his cheerful attitude towards the devotees was so pleasing and heart-touching that his very smile was attractive for them. So he's smiling very beautiful. So his very smile was attractive for them. That attraction was glorious not only for all the higher planets of this material world, but beyond, for the spiritual world also. Even the Jaya and Vijaya and all other are also looking at it. This is the beauty of the Lord. So generally, a human being has no idea of what the constitutional position is in the higher material planets, which are far better constituted in regard to all paraphernalia. Yet, the Vaikunta planet is so pleasing and so celestial that it is compared to the middle jewel or locket in a necklace of jewels. So many descriptions are compared here, analogies. So the celestial, that is compared to the middle jewel or locket in a necklace of jewels. That is Vaikunta. So in this verse, the words Spruhaniya Dhama, so that indicate that the Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure because he has all the transcendental qualities. Although only some of these are aspired for by persons who hanker after the pleasure of merging in the impersonal Brahman. There are other aspirants who want to associate with the Lord personally as his servants. The Lord is so kind that he gives shelter to everyone, both impersonalists and devotees. He gives shelter to the impersonalists in his impersonal Brahman effulgence, whereas he gives shelter to the devotees in his personal abode known as the Vaikunta Lokas. He is especially inclined to his devotees. He touches the core of the heart of a devotee simply by smiling and glancing over him. The Lord is always served in the Vaikunta Loka by many hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune, as stated by the Brahma Samhita. Lakshmi Sahasrasam Brahma Sevyamanam. In this material world, one is glorified if he is favored even a pinch by the goddess of fortune. So this is Prekshalavarditere Niman Vahanti. Everyone, even though Nashrehi Viraktimapimam Ajahat Vijahat Yasyaha, even the Lord is not attracted towards the goddess of fortune. Prekshalavarditere, and all people they are trying to get a little bit of favored even a pinch by goddess of fortune. They make Niman Vahanti, they follow so many vratas. So here we can simply imagine how glorified is the kingdom of God in the spiritual world, where many hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune engage in the direct service of the Lord. Another feature of this verse is that it openly declares where the Vaikunta lokas are situated. They are situated as the summit of all the heavenly planets. Chintamani or Chudamani. This is Chudamani. They are situated as the summit of all the heavenly planets, which are above the sun globe at the upper limit of the universe, and are known as Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. The spiritual world is situated beyond the universe. Therefore, it is stated here that the spiritual world, Vaikunta Loka, is the summit, that is Chudamani, of all the planetary systems. Chudamanim Subhagayantam Iva Atmadishyam, which is uh, here, all the light is coming from the Lord's body by his personal presence. That is this particular verse, and Prabhupada is explaining very nicely here. So when the devotees are glorifying the Vaikunta Lokas and the Lord's beauty and his qualities, when all the devotees to hear, it is so beautiful. Um, Here, this Brahma is saying, Snehava Lokakalaya Tuji Samsprushantam. It is touching the heart of the devotees. touching the heart of the devotees. So here and then, further Prabhupada is explaining Krishna Prasad Sumukham Spruhaniya Dhama. And devotees desire to go there and see the Lord and associate with the Lord. The Lord knew even the offensive doormen were his pure devotees, although by chance they committed an offense at the feet of other devotees. So Lord is equal to either his devotees or all are children of the Lord because they are acting in their own the mood, in their own behavior, whatever they have acquired. But the devotees they wanted to stay with the Lord because they are attracted by the qualities of the Lord. मद्धर्मणो गुणैरेतैः परिसंशुद्ध आशयः पुरुषस्य अंजसाभ्येति श्रुतमात्र गुणं हि माम् because the Lord has got all, he is the uh, tre- um, treasure of with all good qualities. That's why all the devotees are attracted to Supreme Personality of Godhead, whether this kind of person is existing or like that. So when Valmiki, before he was composing Ramayana, he was mentioning, asking Narada Muni, so telling all good qualities. Would any person exist in this world with all his good qualities? Then Narada Muni said, yes, this is Lord Ramachandra. And then Narada Muni asked, you just composed this Ramayana. So here the Supreme Personality of Godhead has got all the good qualities, treasure of all good qualities. He is equal to all his offenders or non-offenders. But of course, he is on top of that, uh, he is more favorable to the devotee on top of that, though he is equal and he doesn't have nadvesti, he is not, he doesn't have any enemies or he doesn't have any closer ones. But whoever is ye yatamam prapadyante tam sadaiva bhajamyaham, and whoever is doing more devotional service, he reciprocates accordingly. It is everything within the living entity. Otherwise, the Lord has got all the good qualities. So that is the Lord's position. And here he does not accept any offense created by his devotees. And here Prabhupada is saying, on part of the Lord there was no offended mood because he does not accept any offense created by his sincere devotee. But a devotee should be very cautious of committing offenses at the feet of another devotee. So sometimes we see that some of the devotees they might be engaging in some devotional service, they may be saying some service, but other devotee may not understand the mood of another devotee. So they may internally they feel something like it is offense, but most of the time it is not. But when one is doing purposefully, that needs to be avoided. So here, यन्नामानि च गृह्णाति लोको भृत्य कृतागसि. So असाधुवाद तत्कीर्तिं, so असाधुवाद तत्कीर्तिं त्वञ्च हन्ति त्वचिम इवामयः. So if anyone is acting asadhuvad tatkirtim, opposite to the glories of the Lord, opposite to the qualities of the Lord, hanti tvacham ivamayah, just like a when the disease on the skin it is treated or cleansed, just like that, Lord also makes them that they cannot be in that the same position, just like a so and then of course the disease needs to be treated properly. The Lord being equal to all and being especially inclined to his devotee looked as mercifully at the offenders at the offended, both offenders as at the offended. This attitude of Lord was due to his unlimited quantity of transcendental qualities. His cheerful attitude towards the devotee was so pleasing and heart touching that his very smile was attractive for them. This is what a devotee wanted to see. So when Krishna, when he was entering into the Dwaraka, uh, Dwarakayaha Kulastriyaha, then they were seeing that Navitrupinti Dushaha Shriyodhamangam Achyutam. They could not deviate their eyes and their glance from Krishna. Shriyodhamangam Achyutam. That is Krishna. He is very beautiful. Nityam Nirikshamananam. Even though they are seeing every day, still they wanted to see and attracted. That is the Krishna. That is the Padambujam, Saranganam Padambujam. Shriyonivaso Yastyavaraha Panapatra Mukum Drusham. Panapatra Mukum Drusham. His face is just like a nectar to drinking nectar for our eyes. This is Panapatra Mukam Drusham. Bahavo Lokapalanam. He is very strong. And Saranganam Padambujam. Everyone are attracted to his lotus feet. That is his, and it's there. After this Dwarka people, they are glorifying Krishna in so many ways. Natasmane. This is very beautiful verse. Just wanted to bring those things. They are very in the right context. It is mentioned in the 11th chapter of first canto. So those devotees, they glorify the Lord. It also glorifies how beautiful it is. Natasmate nada sadangri pankajam virincha vairincha surendra vanditam parayanam kshemam mihechitam param nayatra kalaha prabvet paraha prabhuhu. So they are glorifying here, and then Lord finally he smiles here. How beautiful that smile is attracted to, and then Bhavasya Nastvam Bhavishwa Bhavana Twameva Matada Suhrutpatihi Pitam Tvam Sadguruhu Nah Paramam Cha Daivatam Yasyanurcha Krutino Bhabo Vima. अहो सनाथ भवतास्मयद्वयं त्रैविष्टपानमपि दूरदर्शनं प्रेमस्मितस्निग्ध निरीक्षणाननं पश्येम रूपं तव सर्वसौभगम् यर्हि अम्बुजाक्ष अपससार भो भवान् कुरोन्मदून् वातसुहृदिदृक्षया तत्राब्धकोटिप्रतिमक्षणो भवेत् Raviminakšnoriva nastavachyutam. And then they are the prayers. And then what? Katam vayam nata chiroshite tvayi prasanna drushya akilaloka akilatapasoshanam jeeve mate sundara hasasobitam apasyamanam vadanam manoharam iti chodita vachah prajanam bhaktavatsalaha shrinvanu anugraham društva within one pravishat. So this is the when all this his Dwaraka people are glorifying Lord with so much of pleasing words and affection. So at the time what they're saying, "Oh Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all other sufferings. How can we exist without your presence?" Then upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwaraka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them. So this is transcendental glance of Krishna and the इति चोदिरिता वाचः प्रजानां भक्तवत्सलः शृण्वानो अनुग्रहं दृष्ट्वा वितन्वन् प्राविशत् पुरम्. So this is the glance of Krishna. So this kind of glance, it is always attractive to devotees, and he smiles. Okay, so this is here, Prabhupada is explaining. His cheerful attitude towards the devotees was so pleasing and heart-touching that his very smile was attractive for them in the Vaikunta planet, for the Kumaras and the Jaya and Vijaya and everyone living in the Vaikunta planet. So the attraction was glorious, not only for all the higher planets of this material world, but beyond, for the spiritual world also. Generally, a human being has no idea of what the constitutional position is in the higher material planets. So which are far better constituted in regard to all paraphernalia. So And so far we have come across what Kumaras have seen in the all the different kinds of airplanes and so many flowers, birds, and beautiful women. This is Vaikunta planet. And everyone are very young, not old people. All are young. This is the Vaikunta planet. And then in this verse, the words Spruhaniya Dhama indicate that the Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure because he has all transcendental qualities. And previously also this Vaikunta is the middle jewel or locket. This is Chudamani in that is also mentioned, and it is desired by and the Lord. The Spruhanidam indicate that the Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure because he has all transcendental qualities. Although only some of these are aspired for by the persons who hanker after the pleasure of merging in impersonal Brahman. So impersonal Brahman, the happiness of the impersonal Brahman, it is compared with a very tiny Paramanu. With a Paramanu only when compared with the Bhakti Sukam Bhodehe Paramanu Tulamapi Naiti Sukam Bhodehe. So this is explained by Rupa Goswami about comparing the pleasure coming from the devotional service and pleasure derived with the impersonal Brahman. Brahmanando Bhavedesha Chet Pararda Gunikritaha Naiti Bhakti Sukambodehe Paramanutulamapi. It is a Paramanutulamapi. Even that Paraman also is not even comparable when it compares to the happiness derived from the devotional service. And it has to be multiplied so many times. Brahmanando Bhavedesha Chet Parad Gunikritaha. He has to multiply number of times, but still it doesn't equal to the happiness comes through devotional service to the Lord. So although this is Prabhupada is explaining, there are other aspirants who want to associate with the Lord personally as his servants. These are all who are not desiring this. Ekatmakam means Spruhyante Kechin, they don't want to merge with the Lord. Instead, Matpada Seva Abhirata Madihaha. So they wanted to take devotional service onto my lotus feet. This is Deemanam na gruhnanti vina mat sevanam janaha. This is even though I wanted to give Salukya Saristi Samipya Sarupya Ekatma Apyuta Deemanam na gruhnanti vina. Na gruhnanti, they don't take it. Vina for what? Mat sevanam janaha. They wanted to serve me personally. That is devotional service. So the Lord is so kind that he gives shelter to everyone, both impersonalists and devotees. He gives a shelter to the impersonalists in his impersonal Brahman effulgence, and they stay in the light only. They cannot enter into the planet because in the Vaikunta planet, everything is relative with Krishna or the Narayana, the Supreme Personality of God, in particular mood. One has to serve or one has to associate somewhere or other in some way. Otherwise, if he has not attained that mode, then he has to stay back in the Brahman effulgence, in impersonal Brahman light only. Just like if we are recognized as a citizen, we are given particular name and address and all these things, and then we can vote in the elections, or we can go to the king's palace and see him like that as a particular. But if a person enters in kind of with different ways, entering without authorization, then what happens? His position is still he is in the country, but he doesn't have any recognition with the name and the address like that. He doesn't have a relationship with the king. He's not recognized, but still he is in the country. That is the kind of impersonalist. And here, whereas the Lord gives shelter to the devotees in his personal abodes known as the Vaikunta Lokas. So he is especially inclined to his devotees. He touches the core of the heart of the devotee simply by smiling, by smiling and glancing over him. The Lord is always served in the Vaikunta Loka by many hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. Lakshmi Sahasara Sadasambrama Sevyaman. Lakshmi Sadasambrama Sevyamanam. Sahasra Sadasambram. So many Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I would worship that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is worshipped by so many goddesses of fortune. So in this material world, one is glorified if he is favored even by by the goddess of fortune. But all the goddesses of fortune, they are serving the Lord. Okay, so that is here. They wanted to engage themselves in the direct service of the Lord. Even their desire, they were for the glance. In the previously also, we have seen that the goddesses of fortune, they're taking lotus flower in their hand and trying to cleanse the palaces. One side they are having there are no dust in the Vaikunta planets, of course, but still they are trying to appear like they are cleansing uh, the golden walls which are bedecked with all the jewels. For what? Just to get a glance over them from the Lord. They want to get a glance from the Lord. That is their desire. श्रीरूपिणि कुणयति चरणारविन्दं लीलाम्बुजेन हरिसद्मनिमुक्तधोषं संलक्ष्यते स्फटिककुड्य उपेतहेम्नि सम्मार्जतीव यदनुग्रहणे अन्ययत्नः. This is the goddess of fortune who is trying to get a favor of the Lord, trying to cleanse these walls, it appearing. Okay, so that is another feature of this verse is that it openly declares where the Vaikunta lokas are situated. They are situated in the as summit of all the heavenly planets. So Vaikuntas are their topmost. Their summit is it is compared here in this verse as a Chodamanim. Chodamanim is summit. It is the out of all the jewels, it is the middle jewel. It is the bigger one. It is the king of the planets, Vaikunta planets. And it is situated, Prabhupada is giving, summit of all the heavenly planets which are above the sun globe at the upper limit of the universe and are known as Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. The spiritual world is situated beyond the universe. Therefore, it is stated here that spiritual world or Vaikunta Loka is the summit of all planetary systems. Okay, so that is a beautiful description of this Vaikunta Loka. This is Krishna Prasada Sumukam. Everyone desires. Spruhaniya Dhamma. This is the planet we have to desire to go. Without hearing about this Vaikunta planet, how anyone can go? Because once we were living in a villages in a poor condition, poverty stricken. After when we go to the school and hearing about there is a foreign country, there are so much of beautiful gardens and all kinds of comforts, everything is nice, then everyone is desiring, I wanted to go to that country, I wanted to go to the America, I want to go to the England, likewise I want to go to the European countries. This is their desires because they have got very little information. They have not seen it so far. They have just heard from some other people. And then in that same desire, they will study and very hard and then working for their studies. And then after passing the university, they come to a job in India and then they go to the desired country. If the country permits, if he is qualified with his skills, that is, he developed the desires. That is, their spruhni. The material people is, that is spruhniyadama. But for a devotee spruhniyadama, it is very, very far beyond. No one can measure. This is the Vaikunta Loka. It is not within these planet systems. Because for that purpose, devotees always, and what they want to do, even they go to the Vaikunta planets, they serve the Lord. For that purpose, they practice here in this life itself. And materialistic people, they're krupanaha, palahetavaha. They wanted to spend the human life, valuable human life for tiny thing, very tiny thing. That is krupanaha, palahetavaha. They wanted to enjoy the material body, the senses, which are not permanent. That is condemned by Krishna. Palahetavaha. They wanted to enjoy this, the small things. Alpa buddhayaha, little intelligence. They are living dead bodies. They are living dead bodies. Everything. Jivant, Jivanapi mruto hi saha. Even though they are living, they are like a dead body. After a few years, their bodies are dead. And what about their soul? They have not done any work for that. They have not progressed spiritually. They have done some vratas and this one and that one for benefit of this human life, for the family sake, for the money sake, and to get relief from kinds of pains, and then to acquire some wealth. That's all. And then because of some past credits, they will go to the upper planets and come down back. And after that, in due course of time, the Kali Yuga has deteriorated too much. Then they would see more hellish condition, which is not favorable at all. Likewise, one always suffers. So, तस्यैव हेतोः प्रेतेतो को विदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमतामुपर्यदः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहसा. One has to try with all his endeavor, which is not available within these 14 planetary systems. That is the Vaikunta planets, that is eternity, association with the Lord, devotional service. These are one has to desire. Tasyeva hetuho praitetu kovido na labhyate yad brahmatam uparyadaha. Even though he searches all the 14 planet systems, which is not available here, one has to search for that. That is the devotion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, talabhyate dukkavad anyataha sukam, and these pains and pleasures automatically they will come and go. Kalena sarvatra gabhiranam hasa. Whatever we desire, they will come and automatically they will go. But one has to serve for that. ब्रह्मांडे भ्रमिते को न भाग्यवान जीवा Guru Krishna Krupaya Paya Bhakti Lata Bheja. Who is the most fortunate person? Who has got a Guru Krishna Krupaya Paya, who has got the mercy of Guru and Krishna, and then with blessing with Bhakti Lata Bheja, the seed of devotion. He is the most fortunate person. Kona Bhag, he is Bhagyavan Jiva, not any other one, who are all working for their sense gratification. What is the worth of learning so much of technologies and that one and this skills, and then they are temporary. They do not last for longer. After 6 years, they are useless. A person who has learned all these things after 60 years, and he is useless person for everyone. Even if all his skills doesn't help him. And what he needs to, even at the time of the death, what about the time of the death? So he is afraid of so many things. Parivitaha parishochatbihi. So when he is lying on the bed, all the parivitaha swabandhubihi, all his relatives are surrounded. Vachyamanopi na bruhe. So even though he wanted to speak, he cannot speak because kalapasha vasham gataha. His time has come. He cannot do anything, even though he wanted to speak, but still at the time he is hankering for his family members. That is the materialistic life. He has not acquired any transcendental knowledge about the life force existing within the body. He thinks that he is a body so far, and he thinks that he is a mind. He thinks that he is an intelligence. This is the subtle level of uh, consciousness. Beyond that, he is in the spiritual level. He has not trained or he has not practiced such kind of those things. So he has not got information about the Vaikunta Lokas, how those people always saying there is no knowledge, no time. He has not got that information. It is from the scriptures. One has to hear from the Guru and Vaishnavas. So this is the Krishna Prasad Sumukam Spruhaniya Dhama Sneha Kalaya Kruditam Sprusantam Syame Prutavarisi Sobitaya Sriyasvaha Choda Manim Subhagayantam Ivatme Disnyam. This particular verse is very, very, very important. This is Spruhaniya Dhama. It is giving the address of the Vaikunta Loka. Address of the Vaikunta Loka, and what we are all desiring to go there, to associate with the Lord, to serve Him personally in the mood that we have developed in this lifetime. So this is Brahma is saying to all the demigods. So Brahma is saying that, oh demigods, myself and you are also desiring for it. So previously he was also mentioning the same thing to demigods, saying that येभ्यतितामपि जनो दुगतिं प्रपन्ना ज्ञानं च तत्त्वविषयं सह धर्मं यत्र नाराधनं भगवतो वितरञ्च मुष्या सम्मोहिता वितया भतमाययाते. O demigods, this is ye abhitamapavi cheno dugatim prapanna. This human form of life is so important. We all desire for it. Jnanam cha tattva vishayam sahadharmam yatra. With the knowledge we attain sahadharmam yatra by following the regulative principles, understanding about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We attain that. We are all desiring for that. But people, Naradhanam Bhagavato Vitarancha Mushya Sammohita Vitidaya Bhatamayate, they're all bewildered. They are not taking to the devotional service. Brahma is also saying to the demigods. Okay, that is the so demigods are hearing about all the Vaikunta planets, about the Lord, about the when Kumaras entering into the Vaikunta planets and exploring all these things. Brahma is explaining here. So that is this particular verse. Okay, I request dear devotees, if you have got any questions, kindly ask from this point of view. Otherwise, before we move to the next verse. Hare Krishna. Gauringa Mataji, Meena Mataji, Asha Mataji, any questions or you wanted to add anything?
No, Prabhuji. I don't have any questions. Sorry.
Okay, no questions. Then we shall move to the next verse. So in the next verse, the Brahma is saying that how the Lord is appearing in front of the Kumaras and also Jaya and Vijaya, how beautiful he is and what he is doing. Okay, so here, so Brahma says to demigods that Pitam Suke Prutinitim Vini Vispurancha काञ्चालिभिः विवृतया वनमालया च वल्गुप्रकोष्ठवलयं विनता सुतांशे विन्यस्तहस्तमितरेण दुनानमब्जम् पीतां सुखे पृथुनितुम्भिनि विस्फुरञ्च. And the Lord is covered with the yellow cloth. Pītam sukhe prutunitam on his large hips. Prutunitam on his large hips he has got a yellow garment. Vispurancha, and they are shining brightly. So this yellow, this is the pita. Pitam suke prutinitam vispurancha. This is shining brightly. These white, yellow garments, they are covered his large hips. Kanchalibihi virutaya vanamalayacha. And his garland, vanamalayacha. And how it is looking? Kanchalibihi. And Kanchalibihi, what is that Vanamalayacha? So it is with a girdle by the bees and Kanchalibihi by the bees and Viritaya, they are humming bees. They are surrounding this garland, fresh flowers, and all bees are attracted towards the this flower garland, this Vanamala. This is very beautiful comparisons are given. There are also so many bees, bumblebees are there. They are attracted towards these beautiful flower garlands when the Lord is having. And sometimes in the temple also, when we see, when we keep this fresh garland to the Lord, sometimes the flies will come and they are also attracted towards the garland. But what do? We shoo them away whenever we see, but we should not do like that, make them far away from the Lord with the mood. But Lord treats everyone equally, even the ants and those things. But we keep everything as much as possible clean. But still, when they're coming, so that means they wanted to take association of the Lord. Okay, so here, Kanchalibihi Viridaya Vanamalaya cha. So all the bumblebees are attracted towards the Vanamala that Lord is wearing. They are fresh garlands. And then Valgu Prakosta Valayam Vinita Sutamshe. And he's Valgu Prakosta. And his Valgu Prakosta is the lovely wrists, and Valayam, and his Valayam is the bracelets. And Vinita Sutamshe, he is having the different Valayam, the bracelets, and what Vinita Suta Amshe, and he is keeping his wrist of Garuda, the son of Vinita. And then Garuda is there next to the Lord, and Vinita Sutamshe, Suta Amshe. Amshe is the on the shoulders. On his shoulders, he has kept his wrist. Vinita Vinyasta Hastam, and he is resting his hand, one hand on the Garuda. Itarena, with another hand, Vinyasta Hastam, Itarena Dunanam Abjam, and being twirled, he has got a lotus flower in another hand, and he is twirling with his hand. See, this is the Lord's the moment. They are very beautiful when he is having lotus flower and then just keeping moving and twirling it. He looks so beautiful. And one hand on the Garuda, one hand he is having lotus flower, another hand he has having the conch shell and the mace, the club, those things. So this is the Lord's form. How the form has it is the glorification of the form of the Lord. पीतां सुखे पृथुनितिं विस्फुरञ्च काञ्चालभिः विरुतया वनमालया च वल्गुप्रकोष्ठवलयं विनतासुतांशे विन्यस्तहस्तमितरेण दुनानमब्जम्. This is very beautiful form. In the picture, if we see this form, vinyastahatareena dunanamabjam. So the form which, okay, here. So here in this form, so this picture again we are seeing here. Last week also we see. So here the Lord's Garuda is here next to the Lord, and he has kept one hand here on top of the Garuda. In the another hand, so he has got the lotus flower here in this hand. He is twirling it. This is the Dunanam Abjam. And there are the other two hands is conch shell and also club. So here Sudarshana is not here. So because he kept the hand on the Garuda. Garuda is folding his hands. Okay, so that is the farmer, and he has got the yellow garments and the flower garland and yellow garments. So his yellow garments are here, and then Vanamala is attracted by the, I don't know if you can see the bees. Bees are very small, so they might be in the garland somewhere. Okay, our eyes are imperfect due to the deficiencies of the four defects. Imperfect senses fall into illusion, make mistakes, tend to cheat. So because of that, our eyes may not catch the bees even if they are there. Okay, this is the beautiful form of the Lord. Okay, can I request any devotees to read the translation and purport, please? Gaurangi Mataji, would you like to read the translation and purport?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Translation. He was adored with a girdle that shone brightly on the yellow cloth, his large hips, and he wore a garland of fresh flowers, which was distinguished by uh, humming bees. His lovely waist were graced with bracelets and bracelets, and he rested one of his hands on the shoulder of Garuda, his carrier, and twirled a lotus with another hand. Purport. Here is a full description of the personality of Godhead as personality experienced by the sects. The Lord's personal body was covered with uh, yellow robes and his waist was thin. In Vaikunta, whenever there is a flower garden on the chest of the personality of Godhead or any one of his associates. It is described that the human beings are there. All these features were very beautiful and um, attractive, attractive for the devotees. One of the Lord's hands rested on his carrier, Garuda, and in another hand he twirled a lotus flower. These are personal um, characteristics of the personality of Godhead, Narayana. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvan Pranam.
Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you,
Jai.
Mataji. Very beautifully read. So here in this picture, the Lord is also having a girdle as well. That is the waist belt on top of the feet address. And also, Prabhupada is explaining this is the description of the personality of Godhead experienced by the sages. This is also Kapila Bhagavan explains in the third canto, 28th chapter, how to meditate on each and every limb of the Lord. Okay, that is the personal body. And then his waist was thin, not like our materialistic bodies. Materialistic bodies, as soon as they eat it, and their tummy just goes like a big balloon. But it is not like that. But his Lord's waist is thin. There is no hunger and thirst in the Vaikunta lokas. But it happens only in the material world. Whenever the Virat Rupa, when he has got hungry, then he opens his mouth and his palate. This is the nature of the material world. And here, Virat Rupa, whenever he desires to see, his eyes formed and the sun has formed and the objective of the sight, they are formed. When he wanted to breathe, the nose and the nostrils and also the respiration, they all and the deity for that the swasa, they got generated. And similarly, the ears and the skin and corresponding senses and sense objectives, they all got formed. That is the Purusha. But in the Vaikunta Lokas, the Lord, there is no thirst and hunger, no desire for sex. Their forms are always eternal. And here, the form of the Lord and his weight was thin. In Vaikunta, wherever there is a flower garland on the chest of the personality of Godhead or any one of his associates, it is described that humming bees are there. Here, Lord is having this Kanchalabihi Virutaya Vanamalayacha. The bumblebees are coming to his garland. Not only here, even Jaya and Vijay, when they are wearing Mattadvireha Vanamalikaya Nivitau Vinyastayasita Chatustaya Bahu Madhye Vaktram Bhrua Kutilaya Spoti Nirghamabhyam Raktekshane Cha Managrabasam Dhadano. So at that time, they are also wearing such kind of Vinyastayasita Chatustaya Bahu Madhye. That is Mattadvireha Vanamalikaya Nivitau. Even it is intact, the garlands Matta Dvireva Vanamalikaya Nivithav. They're wearing the garland which is going to be intoxicating even the bumblebees. Matta Dvireva Vanamalikaya. Dvireva is the bumblebees. So they were wearing such kind of garlands. Here Lord is having such kind of garlands. So hummingbees are being attracted. All these features were very beautiful and attractive for the devotees. So this is the devotee's relishment. Who can get such kind of relishment? People, they talk about movies and after some time there is an argument and conflicts and then disappointment. So here Lord's beauty, it is immeasurable, very beautiful and attractive for the heart. Okay, one of the Lord's hands rested on his carrier Garuda, and in other hand he twirled a lotus flower. He twirled a lotus flower. These are personal characteristics of the personality of Godhead, Narayana. So this is the beauty of the Lord. And whenever we go to the temple and see the Lord is always smiling, he keeping his flute in his hands and dancing with Radharani. So this is the Lord's beauty. And as soon as we see the Lord, we are all feeling that happiness. Lord is very beautiful and attractive for the devotees. For the devotees. And non-devotees are also get attracted, but they don't stay for longer. They think that they would remember, but they will forget as soon as they engage themselves in the materialistic activities, because the central point is not Krishna. Who have got Krishna and Radharani as center point, they will experience, because all of their life activities, everything, they dovetail in relationship to Krishna. Okay, so this is the beauty of it. Krishna here described as Pitam Suke Prutinitum Bini Vispurantya Kanchalibihi Virataya Vanamalaya cha Valgu Prakosta Valayam Vinasastamshe Vinyasta Hasta Mitarena Dunanamabjam. So the Lord is twirling his lotus flower with one hand, another hand is resting on the Garuda and having yellow garments. Lord doesn't have to change his garments. In the Vaikunta Loka, there is no dust, no sweat, nothing else. So that is Lord's position. Everyone are young and fresh. No time factor, no time act on the people in the Vaikunta Loka. No three material modes of nature. Everything in the Shuddha Sattva. Okay, any questions, dear devotees, you wanted to add or you wanted to ask any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you describe this this purport. Which one you told me? You told 3 Canto 28 verse, but I couldn't get this one. So which one,
Yes.
Prabhuji? Part
Okay.
1 or part 2, Prabhuji?
It is the part 2. It is the 28th chapter, Mataji. There,
20.
for Narayana form, a yogi, he is meditating on the Lord. It is the yoga. So there are 2 parts explained. So 28th chapter, it is about the Sankhya philosophy. A yogi, he keeps himself in the secluded place, even though he is sitting himself in the lonely place, his body तस्मिन् स्वस्ति समासेन रुजिकायः समभ्यसेत्. And then controlling his breathing air, प्राणस्य स्वतेन्मार्गं पूरकुम्भकरेचकैः प्रतिकूलेन वाचित्तं यथा स्थिरम् अचञ्चलम्. He keeping his mind controlled. Then स्वधिष्ञानाम् एकदेशे मनसा प्राणधारणं वैकुण्ठलेन अभिध्यानं समाधानं तदात्मनः. and he meditate on the form of the Lord. And Vaikunta Leela, Abhijnanam, Samadhanam, Tadatmanaha. That is the one. So there, we need to read the entire chapter. There are 44 slokas approximately. So all slokas are important, and there each and every limb is glorified and meditated. First is the lotus feet, and then the knee, then the legs, and the knees, and then the thighs, and then the tummy or the navel, and then his chest, and then his breast, and then his neck, and then his face, and his mouth, his smile, his eyes, his nose, and his ears, earrings, and his entire face, and his hair, and his eyes, how they're looking, and his one has to meditate on the eyebrows as well, and the middle of the eyebrows to control the Kamadeva, to control the Kama. Sammohanaya rajitam, Sammohanaya rajitam, Nijamaya yasya. That is Bhrumandala Munikrite Makaradvajasya, to control the sex desires or attraction towards the material things. One has to meditate on the between the two eyebrows, the center point. Bhrumandalam, Munikrite Makaradvajasya. And then gradually his meditation comes to that point that he is not acting by himself. So this meditation goes for very long, each and every limb for very long. And then what happens at the Muktashtamirihi Nirvishim Viraktam, and he will be completely free from the material entanglement. He is now focusing the full form of Narayana only. And Nirvaram Ruchiti Manaha Sahasa Yatarchihi, and in his mind, in his heart, Nirvaram Ruchiti Manasa Sahasa Yatarchihi, and he is not experiencing these bodily things, only the form of the Narayana only. So likewise, all his senses coming into the control of the Dehopi Daivashagaha Kalu Karmayavat, under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is 28th chapter explains how to meditate each and every limb of the Lord.
So 28th chapter is all of
Yes.
God glorify, yeah, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Everything.
Yes, around first 10 verses, how one has to sit and start meditation, and the next few verses, next 10 verses, how to just giving index of meditation on the Lord, and then next 12 to 15 verses, they are each and every limb to be meditated, and after that, maybe another 8 or 9 verses, they are like a what happens when you are doing at the end, what do you achieve? So those explains, but that is completely meditation. That is the yogis. So we also see that two yogis, one is bhakti yogi and one is the yogi who meditate in the secluded place. So both are, there is no difference, but here we do not have that opportunity to go to the forest and meditate like that. Both leads to the same path. So the entire 28th chapter, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions, dear devotees? Okay, so that is the beautiful form of the Lord and his word, and everyone are observing the Lord. See here, even this woman of Vaikunta, they're also eagerly seeing here the Lord, and here in the backside also they're folding their hands and watching the Lord. Okay, so dear devotees, if you haven't got any other questions, we shall stop here for today, and we shall continue in the next Saturday. So these descriptions, when devotees are inquiring, it will be adding more and more and nectar sweetness to the, we can just go and explore more of the Lord's pastimes. So this is how we get familiar with the Vaikunta Lokas, always desiring for that. Otherwise, materialistic people, they are desiring for something material and they go and they suffer. People comes from India desiring that they wanted to hear and they are to pay the bills. They are suffering and working hard day and night to get secure the job, to impress the managers, not to lose their jobs. And every time, though every day they are experiencing those anxieties, still they do not want to go out of this situation. They could not reflect what they are doing. That is the sammohita vitaya bhatamaya che. That is the Lord's external potency of the. It makes them to bewilder because of their desires are surrounded based on sense gratification. Devotee's desire is only to please the Lord, no material desires. Though some material needs are there, they are swadharmacharanam sektya, vidharmacha nivartanam. So they carry out their duties, but that is not the central point. The heart is attracted only to the lotus feet of Krishna. Daivalabdena santosha. Whatever it comes in the way, they take it to carry out to maintain the material body and the family. They take it and Daivalabdena santosha atmavit charanachanam. And he after that atmavit charanachanam, he served the spiritual master. Gramya dharma nivrittisha moksha dharma ratistada. So no more material enjoyment. Moksha dharma ratistada, he is attracted towards the serving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Moksha automatically comes, he doesn't desire for it, automatically comes. Moksha dharma ratistada, mitamej adhanam shashwad, vivikta sevanam. So he controls his food habits, not eating all the rubbish from the outside and junk and all these nonsense things prepared by the non-devotees with polluted consciousness in the mood of business. When we eat, what happens? We get their consciousness. Automatically, it will contaminate our consciousness. So whatever is prepared in the home and offered to the Lord, that is the prasadam. We accept that one as the prasadam. That way, our consciousness is very clear. That is Mithime Jadhanam Shashwat, Vivikta Kshema Sevanam, and he doesn't associate with the materialistic Sangha. He is in the devotee Sangha only. Okay, so that is the descriptions. One has to get attracted to Krishna and his abode and his paraphernalia and his devotees. Okay, so with that one, we shall conclude. Dear devotees, if you don't have got anything, we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Okay. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण कॉन्शियस डे एवरीवन ओके थैंक यू सो मच जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर